Bulls Nation, it is a big day for us. DeMar DeRozan has officially made history, passing Wilt Chamberlain for a very, very incredible stat. The Bulls are now on a 5-game winning streak going into the All-Star break. We got Zach LaVine news, but also some of the big news that just happened, basically at the end of the Bulls game, is the Bulls are signing, or supposed to be signing, Tristan Thompson, as he has officially been waived by the Indiana Pacers. And it looks like the Bulls are about to get their big man. So I want to talk about the Sacramento Kings game, the Bulls on their 5-game winning streak first, talk about DeMar DeRozan's historic run, and then I want to talk about the Tristan Thompson thing last, as I think that's a pretty significant move in my opinion. But before we get into it all, make sure you hit that like button if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. I'm going to spend just a little bit of time on this Kings game and just kind of talk about the Bulls on this 5-game winning streak. No LaVine since that Minnesota Timberwolves game, and even in that game, he did not look very good. So DeMar DeRozan has been on an absolute tear, and he has absolutely carried this team to 5 straight victories before the All-Star break. And these are games that the Bulls need to get. And a lot of we always see it. Will Perdue always calls out the Bulls, or Jason Goff is always calling out the Bulls, saying like, "Hey, this is a game you should have gotten." And for some of these games that we have lost this season, I think that Orlando Magic game where Vucevic had a horrible game, right? That Rockets game in Houston, which started the Rockets' long winning streak. That Spurs game in San Antonio, like those are games that we should have won. But at the end of the day, we're gonna lose some of these games. It's the NBA season. Even the best teams lose games that they should have won. We just saw, the Phoenix Suns are on a 6-game winning streak right now, if I'm not mistaken. And even before that, though, they lost to the Atlanta Hawks, and that's not supposed to happen. So it's like, it's going to happen at some point, like good teams going to lose to teams that they shouldn't. But these 5 games before that All-Star break was very important for the Chicago Bulls, and they got all 5 of these games. So for all those people complaining, like, oh, we don't get these games that we're supposed to get, well, here you go. We got 5 straight games that we should have won. We got them. Now we are in that first place in the Eastern Conference. And I'm very, very happy by this Bulls team. Shorthanded, by the way. No LaVine for 3 of these games, and we're able to win the games that we should have won. This game was definitely a high scoring game, as you can see right here. The defense was basically optional yet again for this Bulls team and the opposing team. It's honestly just for this Bulls team, we're going to have to outscore our opponent. And the Bulls did that yet again. DeMar DeRozan, just another 35-plus point game on over 50% shooting. You can see that both teams were kind of chucking it up from 3-point range early on, and then the 3 started to kind of slow down. But good stuff for the Bulls is that they hit the glass on offense and defense, so good job there. The ball was moving around. I was happy with the ball movement. They got out in transition a lot. Not a lot of forced turnovers, but they got out in transition even off the rebounds, which was good to see. And pretty decent job taking care of the ball yet again, which are the things that we have to pay attention to with this Bulls team. Other thing I want to note is this. If I'm remembering correctly, I think the Bulls only had 8 bench points this game, and the Bulls still put up 125. So, pretty impressive by this Bulls team to, without a bench that is very good, especially with all these injuries, to have your bench put up 8 points and you do this, phenomenal job by the starting lineup. Just some guys to point out here. We need to talk about DeMar DeRozan yet again and his fantastic performance. But Kobe White on his birthday game, he had 31 points. The Kings for some reason decided to leave Kobe White when they tried to double DeMar, and I don't understand why. He's not the guy to leave on this Bulls team. He is by far the best 3-point shooter out there on the floor currently. So you don't leave Kobe White, but they did. So thank you, Sacramento, for making that dumb decision to leave Kobe White open from 3-point range all night. Because honestly, I would help off of this dude right here. I would assume, who I know can hit that 3-point shot, but it's important that you cover Kobe White first. Javonte Green, man, he scored 10 points in the first, which is I think the first time in his career he's done that. But Mr. Hustle right here, the demolition man, great job by him. And Vucevic, I think he definitely could have played a little bit better in this game. Sabonis was definitely carving him up on the inside, unfortunately. But I specifically just mean Sabonis. If Fox gets into the lane or any of the guards get into the lane, that is not on Vucevic. But Sabonis was definitely killing Vucevic in the post, unfortunately. But I thought Vucevic could have taken advantage of him on the other end, but that just didn't happen in this game. But you know what? You can't really complain. 21 and 10, another double-double by Vucevic. Can't complain about that at all. That's perfectly fine. So, pretty decent game overall by the Bulls. Thought the first half was better than the second half, in my opinion. That third quarter wasn't very good, but in the end, they got the win. So just good overall stuff by this Bulls team heading into the All-Star break. The Bulls will be sending 3 people over there. LaVine and DeRozan are obviously All-Stars, and I would assume he's going to be playing in the Rising Stars game. And he's on Team Gary Payton, so pay attention to that. I'm looking forward to seeing Io play in that Rising Stars game, and also, I mean, we'll see about LaVine's status, but we know DeRozan's going to be playing, so that's going to be fun to watch. Other thing here we got to talk about is DeMar DeRozan and his historic stretch. He has passed Wilt Chamberlain. Him and Wilt have been the only players that really have done something like this, where you score 35 points in multiple games in a row and shoot 50% or better from the field, and DeMar DeRozan has officially passed Wilt Chamberlain and now has had 7 straight games of doing this exact thing. 35 plus points a game and over 50% shoot, or 50% or better shooting. That's phenomenal. And this is his 8th straight game hitting 30 points or more. So DeMar DeRozan absolutely should be in the MVP conversation. I'm shocked that he's not really in that conversation. The funny thing is, and Stacey and Adam kind of talked about this in pregame, the national media really did not start talking about DeMar DeRozan during this historic stretch until like today and yesterday. They have not been talking about him at all, and that bothers me a lot because this Bulls team by far has had some of the most significant injuries. You can argue he's had the most injuries. I know Heat fans are saying their thing, but I think this Bulls team has had the most injuries by far than any other contending team, and they're still right now they're currently first in the Eastern Conference with this win over the Sacramento Kings, and a lot of it is because of this man right here. He has been absolutely carrying this Bulls team, and we're loving it here in Chicago. And he's doing stuff that Michael Jordan never did as a Bull. He's doing stuff that he just passed Wilt. I mean, he's in the same category as Shaq as most points scored without hitting a 3-point shot. Like, it's just incredible with what DeMar DeRozan is doing. So give this man his praise, give him his roses that he deserves, man. Because Chicago, listen, man, I feel like sometimes we don't treat our all-star right. I'm just saying, for some all-stars, and we need to treat this guy right. And I'm happy that Chicago so far has been treating him well. And I hope the national media starts paying attention to him, because he's been phenomenal all year. Again, the national media kind of thinks like this is just a quick thing that just happened. No, this has been happening all season. DeRozan's been absolutely phenomenal. And he's been the closer for this team, which has been desperately needed for this team, and he's done just that. Mr. King in the fourth quarter himself. So, DeMar DeRozan, man, I'm so happy to watch him play so well. And we're going to I want to show clips from the Thunder game to show you how he's Billy Donovan talked about it at the end of at the end of the Spurs game. Like, DeMar's always taking, inventory. He's always thinking. He's always processing what the defense throws at him. And I'm going to show you how DeMar has realized in the Thunder game that he needed to make an adjustment. I'm going to show you that adjustment in these clips pulled up later. But let's talk about this Tristan Thompson thing. So the Bulls are going to have to waive somebody here. But big news here is Tristan Thompson, center, is going to come to the Chicago Bulls, it looks like. Looks like some tampering's involved, not going to lie. But this is the big man that a lot of Bulls fans were calling for AK to trade for. And, I made a video about the trade deadline earlier, and I'm like, you know what? I'm okay that the Bulls didn't make any trades here. We didn't have to give up any assets at this trade deadline, because, yet again, I'm going to still say it, I don't really see this Bulls team as a contender. I know DeMar DeRozan is playing phenomenal, but I don't see this Bulls team getting past the Milwaukee Bucks. And I don't see a trade out there that can move that needle so that we can get past the Milwaukee Bucks. But right here is a guy that the Bulls can bring in, and he's going to help this Bulls team automatically. The Bulls, when they take Vucevic off the floor, they are one of the worst rebounding teams in the league. Vucevic is basically the rebounder for this Bulls team, and I would argue that the second best rebounder on this team is Lonzo Ball, and he's been out. This Bulls team plays small, and when we go to that second unit, I know Tony Bradley's a pretty big body, but we haven't really had a solidified backup big man. And Tristan Thompson can come in and do that immediately. I think he's a pretty solid interior defender, but the main thing that I'm looking for is rebounding. Yes, he's not the biggest center in the world, but I know that this dude can get rebounds. And we're not playing this dude, 25 minutes a game. We're going to be playing Tristan Thompson maybe 16 minutes a game at max. I doubt he'd get more than that. So just take this as a lot of Bulls fans are already criticizing this move. Just take this as we're only playing this guy just a little bit. And honestly, I think he's better than Bradley. I think he's better than Tyler Cook. And he brings a veteran experience that none of these other Bulls big men have. So I'm really happy about this move. Honestly, this is the big man that Bulls fans are calling for, that we needed, and hey, we got it. And yet, I see Bulls fans complaining. I understand that Tristan Thompson brings drama. I understand this whole thing with him and Chloe is a whole thing, and I get it. But I'll tell you this right now. If he comes in and disrupts the chemistry with his team and brings all the drama with them and brings it into the locker room, AK will have no problem waiving him immediately and getting him off this team. AK will have absolutely no issue doing that. AK has talked about that the team chemistry is so important to this team, and he hopes that any player he brings in is going to fit right into this team. But if he brings in somebody that he does not like and gets reports that he is disrupting the locker room chemistry, he will waive him immediately. So if Tristan Thompson doesn't ready to play and brings drama with him, he will be gone. Bulls fans, let that be known. And honestly, I think Tristan Thompson has been pretty much just a professional this season. Rick Carlisle, who was the guy to break the news, because Tristan Thompson got traded from the Kings to the Pacers, Carlisle talked about how Tristan Thompson's basically been a professional since he's been with Indiana for like those 5 to 7 days or however long it's been. So, Rick Carlisle is a very, very good coach in this league. People respect him. And for him to say that, I think it's a pretty decent sign. So, this definitely helps this Bulls team. And obviously we need to waive somebody. And it's going to be Alfonso McKinney and Matt Thomas. Now, I know McKinney's been, a pretty great story, hometown guy. But unfortunately, he has fallen out of the rotation. I don't really understand why. I would like to waive Matt Thomas, but unfortunately, McKinney is making less money, so he might be the one to go. Also, McKinney's going to be out of the rotation. Matt Thomas has been in the rotation. Again, I don't know why. But at the end of the day, you see right here, Alfonso McKinney's making less, and his deal for next season is non-guaranteed. So, this seems like a pretty easy decision here for AK, but you know what? I won't be shocked if someone else is actually waived here, because remember when the Bulls waived Alize Johnson? We kind of all thought Matt Thomas was going to be the one waived, but they instead waived Alize Johnson to sign Alfonso McKinney. That was shocking to me. I didn't expect that to happen, so we'll see what happens here. I'm going to guess McKinney is going to be waived. But it could be Thomas, and some people are kind of throwing out Tony Bradley. I disagree with that. I don't think Tony Bradley is going to be waived. So just be a heads up for this, that the Bulls will be waiving somebody to get Tristan Thompson onto the team, as they need to waive somebody to get there. So big news so far right now today for this Bulls team. 5-game winning streak, beat the Kings. DeMar DeRozan's on his historic run, and Tristan Thompson's coming to the Bulls. So pretty overall good stuff. Other news I want to just briefly hit on, Zach LaVine has, got his second opinion, and Billy Donovan said that appointment went well. And it looks like LaVine might be cleared to play the All-Star game. We'll see, but we should have him after the All-Star break, which is always good. I hope he kind of sits out the All-Star festivities, but that's his decision. I just want to get as much rest as possible before we hit that last stretch to get into the postseason. So that's all I have for the Bulls news. Now I want to talk about DeMar DeRozan and what he does and how he's taking inventory. So in this Thunder game, DeMar DeRozan scored 38 points, and you saw him like early on, he didn't exactly have it going. You saw him in that second quarter, he kind of really took off. But I'm going to show you here how he's like adjusting in the middle of the game, because Donovan's always talked about DeMar DeRozan's so smart. Like, he's scoring with his mind. He's not relying on his athleticism, which is definitely going, at age 32, but he's understanding how to get his defender off balance, how to create space, and how to get into his spots most efficiently. So watch this here. This is DeMar DeRozan, and he has Darius Bazley on him. And Darius Bazley is a pretty versatile guy. He can kind of switch onto multiple positions. And DeRozan usually, when he faces a big man like Bazley, right, he would think, oh, mismatch. So right here, he's backing down Bazley, and he decides to do the step back fadeaway jumper. But Bazley's length here, as you can see, is going to actually block his shot, which you never really see this. This isn't normal with DeRozan. So really good job by Bazley to recover. Also not fall for a pump fake, right? So DeRozan, he takes this in. He's like, okay, I can't do that normal step back shot over Bazley because his length is too much. He's going to get his hand up there and block my shot. Again, here, this is at the end of the first quarter, last second shot. DeRozan, instead of backing him down, he's like, okay, let me just face you up and try to break you down and create space. And right here, he gets to his spot, crossover, and you see Bazley, he recovers again. block this shot with his length. And this is, again, you don't usually see this with DeRozan. So DeRozan's understanding what's happening right now. He's like, okay, I need to if I'm going to ever go one-on-one against Bazley, then I need to do something different. So in this play right here, you see Bazley is guarding DeRozan, and instead of DeRozan, just doing his normal routine, he's going to get Darius Bazley to get off balance. What he does here is he gives Darius Bazley a little shoulder, and Bazley then is all of a sudden his momentum's going backwards, and that allows DeRozan to get enough space to get his shot over him and score the mid-range shot. As you see right here, he just bumps Darius Bazley. Bazley's now in no position to recover to block that shot. DeRozan created just enough space. Bazley didn't even get a hand up, knowing that he was beat, and DeRozan hit the shot. And again, this is just because DeRozan saw in these two possessions here that I can't do my normal move to get past Darius Bazley. I need to get him off balance. I need to nudge him a little bit. I need to, do a little bit, little different things to get my shot over a guy like this. So right here, you see this is you see a pick and roll. They switch it, so now Bazley's gonna be guarding DeRozan, and this time right here, you see DeRozan. He's like, okay, you blocked my shot a couple times. Now watch how high DeRozan shoots the shot. This isn't his normal arc. Watch how high he shoots this. Again, that's not normal for DeMar DeRozan, but he understood since last time. Because Bazley blocked my shot, I need to get it over his hand, and he made sure to just put up a little bit of extra arc and got the friendly bounce to go in. And yet again, just similar situation. Get the switch, get Bazley on me, and again, you just see a little bit of extra arc on the shot, and just to get it over Darius Bazley, and he knocks down a mid-range shot. That's how DeMar DeRozan is scoring with his mind. He's understanding what the defense is throwing at him, and he makes adjustments within the game to get into a better shot or get a better look or be able to actually shoot over your defender and not get your shot blocked. So that's what DeMar DeRozan's doing, and that's just so awesome to see. Because some guys in this league, they're like, well, I only have one go-to move, or I can only score this one way, and the defense takes that away from them. They're kind of screwed. They don't really know what to do. But DeRozan, in that mid-range area, you could just tell that he has all these different moves, and he is able to counter everything that is thrown at him. Like, if he sees that the Thunder are going to play him one way, then he has a counter for that, and he'll do something different. You saw Darius Bazley was giving him some issues early on, and he tried two of his main moves, which was that, step back out of the post, which usually creates enough space for him to get the shot off, and then the crossover, which we've seen all year. Those two shots weren't enough. So in these three clips that I showed you, you saw him get Darius Bazley a little bit off balance with the shoulder, and then in the final two shots, you saw him take, a higher, release to get that shot over Darius Bazley, so his shot wouldn't get blocked, knowing that Bazley blocked him twice before. So that's just showing you how smart DeRozan is at his game and understanding what the defense throws at him. How is he going to, take that, and how is he going to do something different the next time down the floor. So that's all I have for you guys in this video. So again, we talked about Bulls on a 5-game winning streak. They just beat the Sacramento Kings. DeRozan's historic run, which has been awesome to watch. And Tristan Thompson is now, looks like he's going to be on the Chicago Bulls after the All-Star break. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. I'm looking forward to the All-Star festivities. I hope you guys are as well. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.